just getting ready to film my next podcast of 2025 and getting some acquisitions out. And look who has come along to play with the yarn. It is Wednesday, January the 8th, and welcome to another knitting podcast. It is about 25 to 10. I'm just about to get on the bus to go into town to go to a new knitting venue for my morning knitting group, so I'll take you with me. Time I have pressed record for this section of the video. You've seen a little sneak peek of some of what I'm going to show you today. If you're new here, hello, my name's Ashley. This is One Stitch After Another, and on this channel I talk about all things yarny, be it cross stitch, be it knitting, be it there's no other yarny stuff for me at the moment because I can't crochet. I was going to have a crochet lesson today, but that fell by the by. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the little bit of B-roll footage there. I've been very lucky. I've been out and about knitting a lot. So has Nana. She's had a great time meeting friends. But yes, today I'm going to talk about some WiPs. I'm going to talk about some acquisitions. I'm going to talk about some future plans. There are a lot of future plans. So if that sounds like your bag, do go and get a cup of something. I'm drinking a hot chocolate, one of those calorie reduced ones, which is all right, but they do have a little bit of a synthetic taste, don't they? So yes, I've had to just stop recording because my cat was jumping on the packaging that I'd left on the floor. Anyway, shall we crack on? What should we talk about first? I've got 3 WiPs. No finished objects, although I've got a nearly finished object. So we'll start with that first. I am involved, and you've seen a little bit of this in the B-roll footage. I'm involved in a yarn bombing event, which is taking place in my town, which is in Rugby in Warwickshire, in June. And it is an Alice in Wonderland themed yarn bombing event. And oh, I'm so excited about it. I have knit for a lobster quadrille, a fish. Well, it's not finished. I've got 3 sections of the fish, which I've sewn together, not very well. And then there are 3 sections that have got 3 stitches each on, where I'm going to then knit in the round and knit the tail. It needs stuffing. and then you sew the fins on. So that's nearly done. I might take that to work with me tomorrow to finish. So that's that. This is donated yarn. Excuse me. I'll come back onto the yarn bombing event in more detail during this podcast. What shall I show you next? I cast on, you saw a little bit of it in my first podcast of 2025, the Gridlines sweater. I'll insert a picture here by SoSu, Suzanne Somers. And I have finished the right front and back. So you cast on for one of the right sections. It might be the right back. And then you put those stitches on hold and you cast on for the right front. And this is the shoulder section. This is in 4-ply or fingering weight yarn. It's beautiful, 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 soft merino nylon blend from Lay Family Yarn, and it's in the colourway Wonderland Walk, which was dyed by Ali from Little Drops of Wonderful. Then you do a 3 needle bind off to join the side seam, which is in garter stitch. So this is the side seam. This is where I've got stitches on hold to pick up a sleeve. And this is the neck, half of the neck. My next little bit is to pick up stitches. Let me just see if I can work out. Yes, so with the right side facing you, you pick up stitches up to the neck, and then you're starting to knit the left back. I could do a sleeve, but no, I think I want to get the body done. So if you imagine this kind of thing going on, it's a little bit like my bowline tee, if you've seen me wear that. So there will be a centre seam, a faux centre seam, front and back. I've really enjoyed this meditative pattern, and there's some really nice details at the shoulder with the slipped stitches. One of the yarns in the pattern that Suzanne has used in her versions has got more variegation of colour than this yarn has. This is all shades of green and a little bit of beigey brown, but her background colour was grey, and there were flashes of teal and emerald green, and I think there might have been a yellow in it as well. So where those colours fell on slipped stitches, you got a really nice effect, which isn't showing up terribly well on the camera. Let me show you this way. Can you see there all these slipped stitches? But I've really enjoyed knitting this. I've put it to one side for now until I battle with picking up the stitches. There is a tutorial if you purchase the pattern, which is there's a link to her tutorial on YouTube, and it's fairly straightforward. I've picked up stitches before, so we'll see how we go. 3 needle bind off. I did consider doing Kitchener stitch, but I think that's more for closing gaps than doing side seams. So I did do a 3 needle bind off. If you don't know what a 3 needle bind off is, you have 2 sets of stitches on needles that are held parallel, and then you use a 3rd needle and you knit 2 stitches together, one off the front needle, one off the back needle, and you're using your 3rd needle to knit the 2 stitches together. I find that really clumsy. I can't do it. So what I do is I slip the stitch off the front needle onto my working needle and the back stitch, and then knit them together. Yeah, that's what I do. It's a little bit convoluted, but yes, this is going to be so lovely and so soft. Sorry, I got a little bit close then, but that is just delightful. I will link everything that I've talked about, that I am talking about rather, in the description box. Now, this next project, I am so proud of myself. I have really flown with this. I had cast on, I think it was the 28th of December. I've just seen I've got a dropped stitch there. I cast on the Habitation throw by Helen Lewis, is it? Curious Handmade. I've had this pattern purchased for probably 2 years. And I have used one of my Sherry Iris yarn advents. I'll show you here. I've got 350 stitches on the needle. It is really heavy, but I am at a point now where this is the widest the blanket is going to be. And I've used 24 20-gram minis from a yarn advent, and I've split them roughly in half. And then I've used some cream yarn that was in my stash from Emma's Perfectly Practical sock. This is in the colour Whisper, and this is really lovely soft yarn. And I've used this because I wanted my blanket to be a little bit wider than if I just used the 24 minis. And I looked through my stash at other minis that I've got by Sherry Iris, and I picked out 3 colours. They were from a minis flower set. I think it was called Hellebores. I don't know whether I bought that last year or the year before. And I thought, no, you don't need all this yarn in your stash, Ashley. You need to start knitting it because, you know, that's what we buy yarn for, isn't it? So I've got this gorgeous kind of grapey colour here. Then this green. So I've used half of each one and interspersed it with the cream just to make the whole thing bigger, wider, longer. And then this is my middle colour. So I'll be knitting all of this, and I've just weighed. I am at the halfway point in this kind of blue skein, which has got a little bit of green in it as well. And then I'll be going back the other way. So yes, let me show you the point I was at when we were last together 2 weeks ago. And you can see how much I've done. And obviously every other row I'm adding 2 stitches. Just being really careful not to drop anything. Let's put those there. Just trying to find the right side. Yes, so that's from here where my thumb is. Can you see that stitch marker there to here? That's how much I did last night in front of the telly, and a little bit this morning. I've done this blue, 4 rows of blue. But my stitch marker is all the way down there. So you can see I have done ever such a lot since we were last together. And I haven't worked on it every day, but I am very pleased that I am going back the other way and my stitches will be decreasing. So those are my only WIPs, actually. Shall we talk now about future plans? I am going to do a comparison of 3 brands of silk mohair. So I have recently finished a ballet wrap, which still hasn't been collected, for a friend of mine, for her granddaughter, and it's in Knitting for Olive, silk mohair and merino, and it is beautiful. The silk mohair is just lush. The other brand I'm going to compare in this video is Rowan Kid Silk Haze. Back in the day, I think, you know, if you've been knitting as long as me, everybody wanted to knit something in Rowan Kid Silk Haze. By the way, this sweater I'm wearing, it's much more vibrant in real life. This is a Rowan sweater in felted tweed. And it's knit, again, it's knit sideways. No, yes, it is, it's knit sideways. And it's the first garment that ever had any short row shaping in that I knitted. I've had this donkey's years and I love it. There's about 12 different colours of felted tweed in it. There, that's better, isn't it? Will that be a thumb? Yes, and then the third brand, because I wanted to kind of do all budgets. So I think Knitting for Olive silk mohair is slightly cheaper than Kid Silk Haze. I'll have to do the math. And then you saw the cat destroying. I've got Drops Kid Silk, which feels really nice actually. It says on the label, soft and luxurious in super kid mohair and silk. Just seeing if I can read Content is 75% mohair and 25% silk. And on a 25-gram ball, there are 200, can't see this light, I think 210 meters, which might be a little bit light, but look at the damage the cat's done with that. I do actually have a project in mind for this. I bought 6 balls. I can't remember the price of this. I'll put it on the screen. And I ordered this from Laughing Hens. I don't think I've ordered from them before. I was on Pinterest and it popped up. This is another acquisition. It popped up with an advert for Lan magazine, Lan Lane, French for wool, this issue. Trying to get another thumb. And I thought, oh, I'll have that. And I thought, well, while I'm there, I might as well have a look and see if they stock Drops Kid Silk, because I knew I wanted to buy some, and they did. I think it might have been about £4.70 a ball. I'm not sure. I will look it up and put it on the screen. But I do have a pattern in mind for it, which is the Lily blouse. Let me just check who it's from, or by, I should say. I'll insert a photograph here of it. So I just had it on here and it's gone. Hold on, let's have a look in my bundles. Yes, I've had this pattern in a favourites bundle since last year, actually. I had a hot for 2024. Yes, it's the Lily Pullover, I should say, by Charlotte Tung, and it just looks beautiful. It goes from size extra small to 2XL, which isn't the most size inclusive, but the finished bust circumference is between 94 and 129 centimetres, and the suggested ease is between 15 and 30 centimetres. But there are some beautiful lace details, and yeah, I'm not going to be casting this on straight away. No, that's going to go into stash to cast on later this year, I think. Then another future project, again for later this year, for after June. Are you spuddling? Are you getting on the spuddle bandwagon? I watched yesterday, I wasn't feeling very well yesterday. I watched in bed Gaynor from Tales from Cuckoo Land launch her new colourway, which is called spuddle. And it's another Scottish word from the 17th century, like hurkle-durkle. Spuddle means, I think, something like to work very hard at something but not actually achieve anything. Anyway, I fell in love with the colour, and instead of going down the 4-ply route, which is what I normally do, I've gone down the DK route. I've had this in my favourites for some time, and it is the, I'll insert a photo here again. This is the Coorie in Poncho by Amy Palko, and it's got a very interesting, it's in the round, so top down, ribbed neck, and then it kind of works out in 4 sections, I think. Let me have a look and see what she says about it. So this was published in November 2023. It says the Coorie in Poncho is a top-down poncho constructed with 4 sets of offset raglan increases, evenly placed in the front, back, and from the neckband to wrist. The neckband itself is worked in 2x2 rib. I don't think I'm giving any pattern details away. This is all freely available on Ravelry. Pattern is £5 sterling to purchase. It can be used, you can use any DK weight yarn, and you're going to need about 750 meters. I think there's 2 sizes. I'm going to make oh no, it does say 1 size. I've bought just over 750 meters because I just want to make sure that I've got enough. Yes, so I'm very much looking forward to that. But again, that'll be something in the future. So I haven't had, going back to Laughing Hens and what I bought, I haven't had a huge look at this. But just flicking through, some really interesting articles in here. And do you know what I think I might do? Because I have been feeling a bit meh. I might have a bath tonight and take this in the bath with a glass of something. This is a really interesting sentiment. I don't know who said it. Somebody called Jenny. Let's have a look. Oh, Jenny Answer. Knitting belongs to everybody. Jenny Answer is a designer who, in addition to creating timeless, beautiful knitwear, wants to bring a stronger sense of community to the world of handicrafts. I'm going to talk about community in a minute. Finding friends who knit has been meaningful for Jenny, so she now wants to help others find someone to knit with too. There is a picture of her, and she says, this quote is wonderful. Everybody should be able to find a suitable size to knit in a given pattern, no matter what size they are. And I think so many designers now are becoming more aware of size inclusivity, aren't they? I don't know what relationship you have with your own body. I have an up and down relationship with mine. I've battled with weight problems for most of my adult life. I was a very scrawny child. I was a premature baby. I was born almost 12 weeks prem. And back in the dark ages when I was born, they really didn't think that I was going to survive. But I did. I'm here kicking and screaming. But yes, the result was that I was always a very, very small, scrawny child. And then puberty hit, and combined with starting swimming training, I kind of developed chunky thighs, which my dad always used to make fun of. He used to go, legs like tree trunks. I'm only 5'2", and I didn't ever have a weight problem through my teens. Even when I kind of, became less scrawny, I was still a size 10, UK 10, right through my early 20s. And then I was about 21, 22, and the boyfriend I was with at the time, this has gone on a rant, I'm sorry, his mum was on a diet. And her weighing scales were always in the kitchen, and I thought, I'll get on the scales. And I was 9.5 stone, and I thought, I shouldn't be that much, 9.5 stone. And I probably was slightly overweight, but nothing to how my weight ballooned, later on in adult life. And from about 22, I became conscious of what I looked like. I probably did lose a little bit of weight when we split up, and I went back to uni to train to be a teacher. And I was about probably a size 10, 12 at that point. And then the heaviest I've been is 14 stone 9, which at 5'2" is way overweight. I'm currently hovering around the 11 stone 10 mark, which again is very overweight for somebody of my height, but it's not a bad weight for me. I would like to get to 9.5 stone eventually. But one of the benefits, I think, of being an older woman and being a little bit overweight is that it's kinder to your facial skin. So yeah, I do have wrinkles, but they're not as pronounced as perhaps if I, was 8 stone. It'd be like that, wouldn't I? Yeah. So I do always look to see if people have got a good size range when I'm choosing a pattern to knit. Interestingly, going back to that Lily pullover, I'm probably not going to do a lot of positive ease on that. I'm probably going to go with the smallest amount of positive ease, whereas traditionally I knit things that are going to cover me up or a baggy, and it's difficult when you have always had issues for decades now, 3.5 decades, I've worried about what I look like. I wasn't expecting to talk about this today. Yeah, I've always gone for the big and baggy thing, and it doesn't always suit me. And actually, interestingly enough, if you are interested in the kinds of clothes that I wear, on my other channel, which is called Paper and Twine, where I do more vloggy stuff and paper crafting stuff, last year I did 150 different outfits of the day, short videos. I'll see if I can leave a link to that channel. They're not on a separate playlist, they're just on my shorts, but perhaps I'll see if I can leave a link to that playlist. And they're only shorts, so they're less than a minute long, but you can see how some things just don't suit me because they're too baggy. Anyway, the other thing that I got from Laughing Hens, I have to say, I did order before Christmas. I ordered probably about the 27th of December, 28th of December, 29th of December, something like that. And they were closed for Christmas and didn't open until the 6th of January. So this only arrived probably, it was over a week ago, but the packaging was damaged. And interestingly, the magazine they protected in like a rigid separate piece of packaging, but the yarn was just wandering around loose, and you'll see there was a rip in the packaging, which I wasn't very happy with, but I think we're all right. Anyway, you got free shipping if you spent over £50, I think it was, and I was a little bit shy of that, and I thought, oh, I'm into knitting animals, let's see what else we can get. So I've got 2 balls of Drops alpaca. Do you know, this is lovely, and again for the money, and again it's very dark, it's a very dark grey, but I thought that'll come in for when I'm knitting animals. So that was the other acquisition. 2 more little acquisitions, and then I'm going to tell you about my big knitting excitement. I was in the works a couple of weeks ago, and they'd got a really good book sale on, and I am on a mission to be frugal, but I thought I'll go in there and see if I can start any stocking stuffer presents off, and I did, and I'd got 5 or 6 things, and I thought, and I was paying cash, I thought it's going to be £7, but when I got to the till it was actually only £5. So I think both of these books I'm going to show you only cost £1. So I've got Knit a Mini Ocean, and I'm going to hopefully be teaching some children at school how to knit, and I thought some of these little things might be they might quite enjoy doing. So there's another fish pattern there. I might have a go at that myself for my fish, for my lobster quadrille. There's a spook fish. So look, there's a, but this book originally was recommended price was £7.99 for £1. I thought that was really good. And then this was also £1. I haven't really looked at this much other than when I picked it up in the shop, and the recommended retail price of this is £9.99. And this is a project book of knitting. So it tells you how to cast on, which obviously I don't need to know, but it's got some advice about different weights of yarn, which I don't really understand actually. It's not using our terminology. We've got lace, or American actually. Lace, superfine, fine, light, medium, bulky, super bulky, jumbo. But then it's got advice on how to weave in ends, which I've done a lot on that blanket already. And a couple of patterns. But actually, do you know, I might give that away. Oh, and yes, I keep forgetting I need to do the draw for one of my podcasts right back from last year, from when I went to Lay Family Yarn Retreat. I've got I'm giving away a little prize of a handmade bookmark made by one of the other participants there, Diane, who lives all the way in Texas. She got some stuff to give to people, and yes, I've got a handmade bookmark to give away. I need to draw for that, so maybe in another yeah, next time I come back I will definitely draw for that, and then perhaps I will give this away as well, because if you're a beginner knitter, that might be quite a nice thing to have, or even just to, I don't know, chart some of your progress. Oh, my first knitting project. Oh yeah, that's really cute actually. That's really cute. So, knitting yarn bombing event. I've been this morning. I'm not going to show footage of this today. To choose 2 trees, one that I'm going to be responsible for this YouTube channel, and then the other tree for my knitting group that I go to on a Wednesday evening, which you saw a little bit of footage of in the B-roll at the beginning. That's where Nana met another Nana. And yes, I'm going to be doing trees. I'm going to be yarn bombing a couple of trees. But I'm also going to be knitting a couple of objects. So much to do. And I am kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Keeping a diary, a video diary of this yarn bombing event. So it was launched in September, but we had some planning all the way back in August of 2024. And I think I'll be putting part 1 of the yarn bombing event out very soon, actually. And there are lots of community groups getting involved, which is amazing. But it's Alice in Wonderland themed because Lewis Carroll went to rugby school. And both of these patterns are from Claire Garland, Pebbles. I'm going to be doing this Piglet because the Duchess, is a picture of the Duchess holding what she thinks is a baby in the kitchen. She says a little rhyme about cooking and about adding pepper. I can't remember it off by heart. But yeah, I'm going to do the Piglet. It's not focusing. Yeah, so there's that. And then I'm going to use her pattern Snowshoe Hare. I'll insert a picture here. The picture that made me think, oh yes. And it is a hare, but I'm going to interpret it as the white rabbit. And there's another picture of it. And I'm going to have a look and see what yarn there is that's been donated that I can knit those with. But those are, I'm so looking forward to knitting those. So there are 2 major outside installations. One is the Mad Hatter's Tea Party, which is going to be on the green, Jubilee Gardens it's sometimes called. And there are 36 trees around that area, which will all be yarn bombed. The Mad Hatter has been knit. I think the Alice for that installation has been knit. And then the other outside installation is going to be the croquet match with Alice and the Queen with the flamingo croquet mallets. And I don't think I'm doing anything for that per se myself. I've got enough to do. And then a lot of the independent retailers in the town will have displays in their shop windows that have been knit or crocheted or cross-stitched or sewn. So yes, my hair that's going to be the white rabbit and my Piglet will go inside shops, which is good. And we've got until the 14th of June. Well, the big launch date is the 14th of June. Oh, I'm so excited. I can't believe I've been wittering on for 30 minutes. I'm so sorry it's taken so long. If you're still here, tell me your favourite character in Alice in Wonderland, and perhaps I'll do a random giveaway. Yeah, keep doing giveaways and forgetting about them. But yeah, I'm going to crack on and see if I can find some yarn to cast on for my tree, and do a bit of, what's the word I'm looking for, stash diving to find some yarn that I want to use. And I will be back. I think the next video I put up will be part 1 of the Yarn Bomb Diary. So thanks so much for joining me and keeping me company. I was a bit meh when I started, but now I've spoken to you guys, I'm much happier. And whatever you're working on, whatever craft, put love into every stitch. Take care. Bye now.